1. Context. My wife is the assistant front-end department manager for a grocery chain. She doesn't drive, and her store is less than 2 miles from our home in a rural community. Everyone in town knows her and loves her. She's a complete sweetheart to everyone she meets. By extension, I am well known in the store by the employees, and am genuine friends with several of them. As a result, it is common to see me talking to the associates on a regular basis. Their uniforms are usually jeans or khakis with a white shirt that has the company logo. Managers wear a green or black polo embroidered with the logo. I work from home as an IT administrator. My usual attire is usually very similar. I like to wear colored cargo pants and either a t-shirt or a collared button-down shirt, mostly blue or black. I am often confused for store management due to my frequency in the store talking to associates, the way I dress, and my knack for customer service. I normally just bring the person to the nearest actual manager and apologize for the mix-up. On this day, however, there came a cretin creepin', a glibly gallivanting sort. This day I was wearing green cargo pants and a blue t-shirt. There wasn't really a good excuse this day, but the question was nevertheless posed from the man on the mart cart.
"Can you tell me where the peas are?"
Obviously I could. I know this store really well at this point, as I love to cook, and I know where to find all the best stuff. However, I politely inform him that the grocery manager is only 1 aisle over, stocking the freezer. Then came the very odd interaction that made today stand out among all my I don't work here conversations. The man accused me of lying to him, then proceeded to ask me to buy his groceries for him. Now, I'm sure you, my dear listener, are at this very moment forming an assumption that I left a detail, some morsel out somewhere. I assure you I have not. His exact statement, to the very best of my fresh memory, was,
"I don't think that's true. I know you work here. And if you work here, you'll have to help me. I can't afford my groceries, and I was hoping you could buy them for me."
The very thought sent me reeling around. That's when I laid eyes on him. I knew him. Well, I knew him in the same way he knew me. I'd seen him around the store. Specifically, I'd seen him in the pictures my wife took of him to get him banned. This man was very infamous in the community for faking injuries, faking disabilities, illnesses, the works. He refuses to work, instead asking anyone and everyone to buy things for him. He was kicked out of the pizzeria across the lot for it. He's been banned from 2 different pharmacies over it. I looked in his basket. It was full of junk. Atkins drinks, chips, soda, snack cakes, fruit chews, several other miscellaneous items of dubious quality. I curled up my lip and narrowed my eyes to him. I said, "So you went and filled your cart with stuff you can't afford to harp on anyone in a 20-yard radius with a sob story?" He got offended, and with some back and forth he suddenly took it upon himself to take my advice. He miraculously stood up off his cart and walked pretty as you please over to the next aisle, raising the grocery manager. Some yelling and profanity later, the manager stepped around the corner, took one look at me, and sighed deeply. Upon being told I don't work there, he departed rather swiftly, leaving the clearly crammed full mart cart there in the middle of the aisle. Interesting that embarrassment miraculously healed his ability to walk. 2. Hi guys, I'm a retail marketer that works inside of a big blue store. I ask people if they have gutters and try to persuade them into getting free estimates. I know my existence is annoying, but I have a job to do. I've run into one particular customer who isn't exactly pleasant. The first time I ever saw her, I asked her if she needed help finding anything. She asked me if I worked there. Mind you, I don't wear a uniform, but have a lanyard with representative on it. And since customers have asked me more store-related questions anyway, I figured I can help them to a certain extent. So I told the lady I technically do work there. I know where different things are and what services can be provided. She proceeds to touch my shirt logo without my consent and say in a nasty tone, "You don't work here." I said, "Ma'am, I'm just doing my job, seeing if you need any help." And she goes, "No, you only know how to be obnoxious." Wow, okay, I say and let her go. Maybe she was having a bad day, right? Nope. Fast forward to yesterday. First encounter maybe happened a week beforehand. We serve complimentary popcorn on the weekends, and the employees are nice enough to let me use the maker and serve people as they shop. I'm focused on making the popcorn and putting it in bags, and I heard a woman's voice ask if this is all the services we provide. She was looking at a sign. I replied without looking up, yes, while I'm not a store employee, someone at the service desk can help you with the projects you got going on. She replied, well, y'all don't do a very good job. I looked up to see it's her, and she flashed me a shit-eating grin and started to walk off. This is where I may be in the wrong. I got so heated and annoyed I just snapped and said, well, you're just a bitch. She stopped, turned on her heel, and goes, what did you say? I'm gonna need your boss's number. I said, not for me. Every time I interact, you're rude for no reason. I don't like when people pretend to work here. You think I'm doing this for fun? I work inside this store, lady. And she stomps off. I see her go to customer service and demand a manager. She gets the cool manager that doesn't care. At this point, my hands are shaking due to my bad anxiety. She has the audacity to come back and pass me saying, I just reported you. I said sarcastically, oh, did that make you feel better? Good job. She walked out. I didn't get in trouble at all, and a nicer lady customer backed me up and posted me on her Facebook telling others to come see me so they can be served some popcorn with a smile. Any advice on what to do if I see her again? I was genuinely just wanting to help her, but she has a problem with me pretending to work there. No one I have ever encountered has gotten so mad at me just for providing customer service before. 3. Literally still shaking from this. I drove home with no music after I left work right after this interaction. This is what happened. I work at a very popular tech company in the mall, and we are the busiest store there. Like, the store is seriously always packed. We have one singular table where everyone goes for their online pickups. Today I'm working this table. And as always, there's a bunch of people waiting around the table, and around me because I'm the only one there. My manager brings over a couple while I'm helping out a customer. I address the couple, hey guys, thanks for waiting, I'll be with you in just a few minutes. I say thank you to my manager for bringing them over. I finish with my customer. They were doing a return, and for returns we have stickers that we need to put on them. The sticker printer is at the table behind the couple, so I walk over to the table to grab the sticker, and the girl comes up to me and tells me she has a pickup. And I tell her, go ahead, and wait here for me and I'll be with you in a quick second. At the end of the table, there's another girl standing alone, so as I'm stickering up my returns, I go to her, and I swear to you I didn't even get to finish my sentence. I said, hey, have you been here? And I hear screaming. I look up, and the husband from the couple is yelling at me. And when I say yelling, I mean yelling, babe. The whole store is looking at us. He's pointing his finger at me and says,
why did you go over there and help her first? Be brave and tell me why.
And girl, my heart is beating so fast I want to cry. I want to talk back. I want to understand the situation, but he's just yelling. He keeps saying I went over to her because her skin color was like mine, so I went to help her first. He's saying I'm racist. He's telling me to admit it. And this grown-ass man, he's 6'2", and I'm just standing there silent. My coworker gets involved. He tells me to go to the back, and then he starts yelling at my coworker and telling them how I skipped over them because their skin color was not the same as mine. And my manager comes, and then my manager is getting yelled at and also being told how racist I am, and all these nasty words about me. The customer was yelling at the girl at the end of the table. He's telling her she doesn't understand because of her skin color, and now the girl is crying. So I'm getting screamed at. I'm doing the other girl's pickup, and now my customer is crying at my table. So I take the girl to the back so she can calm down because she's crying, hyperventilating, and I want to cry too, but I can't. This becomes a whole thing for 20 minutes, and they're just arguing and arguing. And I come out from the back, and he starts pointing his finger in my face again, calling me all types of slurs. And I just feel like shit. My manager feels like shit, and we all do. Security gets involved, and they were getting cops to escort them. My manager pulls me to the back and tells me I did nothing wrong and that this stuff will just happen. and I happened to be the one there to take it. I'm so hurt by this whole thing. I hate that this is what came out of it. In the end, I hadn't even helped anybody out. I was just checking in with people at the table, and I knew where my line started. I'm so shaken up by this, and it made me really sad that that was how I am being perceived by these people that only got 5 words from me. Because I know that's not who I am. What I got from this is that when I go up to the table, I need to be more communicative. 4. I was fired from a Walgreens I never worked at. In fact, I have never worked at any Walgreens. So this was some 10 years ago, and while the conversation is paraphrased, I remember it like it was yesterday. Background. At the time, I was working grave and swinging as casino player host in Reno, Nevada. For those who don't know what this job is, we take care of the high rollers. Make sure they get comps, dining and hotel reservations, get invites to tournaments, limo rides, you name it. I wore a nice black blazer with a name tag, slacks, comfortable but professional shoes, hair and makeup done. The days I worked swing, I was off at 3 a.m., but after waiting for the bus and the ride home, I would make it to my place at about 5 a.m. Directly across the street from my home was a Walgreens. I stopped in a lot of mornings to grab a protein shake, pick up prescriptions, etc., but on Wednesday mornings they put out a lot of clearance items. You could snag small appliances dirt cheap, so I was always there on Wednesdays stocking up on Christmas and birthday presents, etc. The employees and manager knew me by sight, and some by name. I was usually a zombie after work, I think like most people, and this Wednesday was no different. I was looking over the latest selection, trying to decide if I needed a new coffee maker or just wanted one, because it was clearanced for like $5. A woman was next to me, speaking Tagalog into her phone. I don't speak it, but Reno has a pretty large Filipino community, so I could at least recognize it. Her language is not important to the story. It just struck me how odd the little things we remember are. She finished her conversation and looked at me.
Can I get a discount on this?
I don't remember what this was, some small appliance.
The box is smashed up.
No idea, I told her. But I would ask to plug it in to test it before I bought it if the box is damaged. I have no idea if anyone can actually do that, but it seemed reasonable to me.
Why would you sell something that doesn't work?
She demanded. I had no idea at this point she thought I worked there. I thought she was making conversation. In my defense, I was half asleep and just wanted a good deal on a damn stick blender. Oh, I told her, I absolutely wouldn't sell it, but I'm not in the business of selling things anyway.
Oh, so you're too good and important to sell things? That's just for the low employees?
I finally looked at her. Until then, I was pretty focused on staying awake. I could see she was getting angry. It dawned on me that I still had my name tag on. I slipped it off. They are the kinds with magnets, not pins, and stuck it in my pocket. Oh, sorry, I forgot to take this off. I don't actually... I started to say I don't work here. But she was having none of that.
Oh, you think you're too good to help me just because I'm Filipina?
She may have said Filipino. I confess I don't know which is correct, and going only off memory.
My money is good, you...
She said something in Tagalog that did not sound flattering.
You think you can trick me by taking off your name tag?
I just sighed. I don't want your money. I don't work here. I am shopping. Please leave me alone. She ignored everything I just said except for,
oh, you won't be getting my money because you need to give me this free for not helping me.
Ma'am, I tried to reason with her. I can't give you that. I really don't work here. If you take it without paying, that is stealing.
Oh, now you think I'm poor and a thief.
The fuck? Where did poor come from?
I want to talk to the manager of the whole store.
Lady, I turned back to the shelf. I wish you would fucking talk to anyone but me. I didn't swear because I was angry. I just have a potty mouth. She stomped off, her heels making the tick-tick-tick-tick-tick sounds on the linoleum. I decided I did need another coffee maker and that stick blender. As I was putting both in my cart, I hear tick-tick-tick-tick-tick. Great, she's back. But she is not alone. Tom, the store manager, was with her.
There she is,
the woman shrieked.
She called me a poor thief, instead of swear at me. I want you to fire her and make her poor.
Weird obsession with poverty. Tom looked at me confused. What is happening? I grinned and held up my coffee maker. Shopping. Tom was even more confused. But why are you insulting her and swearing? She thinks I work here and wanted me to let her steal an appliance. Okay, I know, a bit of an exaggeration, but she started it. This was the moment that her medication stopped working. In a very loud mix of English and Tagalog, she shrieked out our entire interaction. Surprisingly, she told it correctly too, except that I didn't put my name tag away to trick her. Tom was done at this point. He looked at me and said, "You're fired." The woman grinned maliciously at me, grabbed her smashed-up box and stormed off with Tom as I shrugged and made my way over to the allergy medication, or some other area of the store. I don't 100% remember, but I have terrible allergies, so that seems likely. At the register, Tom asked me what really happened. I told him everything, including how I told her I wished she'd fucking talk to anyone but me. Tom laughed and told me I was still fired. Yay! I grinned. Do I get a severance package? Tom laughed harder. To be fair, you did swear at her, plus you don't actually work here, so no severance package. That's it. I shopped there for many years before I moved. I never saw her again, so I'm sure she went on, content with me getting fired and making me poor. 5. Backstory. I've worked in this clothes shop, mainly in the lingerie department, for the last 5 years. I'm trained to fit bras for people. My department has its own fitting room. It's really tiny and only has one room with a door, and another room that has a half-falling-off raggedy old curtain that no one will fix, so we don't like to use that room. But that means we need the good room to be available to us all day for any walk-ins and appointments we have. We have one of those retractable queue divider things blocking off the entrance to try to keep people out. But it doesn't always work. We have another 4-stall fitting room on the other side of our small shop. Now, for what happened today. I am the only fitter in and have back-to-back fittings all day, so I am in and out of the fitting room a lot, blocking it off and closing the door after every customer leaving their fitting. I finished at 4 p.m. that day. My last 2 appointments were at 3 and 3:30, then home time. I just finished my second last customer before going home, and she's asking loads of questions as we're leaving the fitting room, so I closed the door and put the barrier up as she's asking me things. I serve her at the till, and then my last appointment of the day comes along, and we headed over to the fitting room. I moved the barrier, let her in, then opened the door handle for the fitting room and pushed it open for the customer to go in as I always do. But as I swung the door open, it bashed into a lady already in the stall, with her hands up over her head, taking her shirt off. I just said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and closed the door. She didn't make a sound. Nothing. I brought the appointment lady into the Banjack's curtain fitting room and did her fitting there. The woman I hit with the door leaves before I can say sorry again. I finish up, serve the fitting lady at the till, and then I heard the woman I hit complaining to my manager and saying she needs an ice pack because she was hit so hard. She's in pain, and she has a mark on her back. One of my colleagues says she reckons the woman will want compensation or some shit. Manager complies and sits her down and gets her an ice pack. Asks her to write down what happened because a report has to be made. I go to find the health and safety manager and tell him what happened. He says it's not my fault. She went where she wasn't supposed to go. CCTV will show her moving the barrier and not to worry about it. So I wasn't. Then 10 minutes later, manager comes back and asks me to meet him in the office on my way out. So I go into the office 5 minutes before I go home, and he says the lady seems fine. There's a small red mark, probably from the handle on her back. I honestly didn't think the door hit her that hard. But now I have to write a report for my side and bring it into work tomorrow. Manager said that it's just formalities, and he's going to call the lady tomorrow morning to see how she is, because that makes customers think we care about them. We had a giggle at that. I'm worried, or just overthinking it. I don't know what's going to happen. My store manager doesn't like me for some reason, so I know she's gonna blame me somehow. But, like, the lady wasn't meant to be in there. I had left for maybe 10 minutes max to help on tills. I always close the door, and she made no sound, so how was I supposed to know someone snuck in? I'm feeling a little bit stressy about it all. Ugh. Anyone else ever smack a customer around? Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, episode 178. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please poke the like button. And if you'd like to get the videos a little bit earlier, you can support me through my Patreon, which is linked in the description. You can support me there for as little or as much as you like a month. And also, if you click in the description, you'll find a link to the Hellfreezer merchandise store. That's a Teespring store. It used to be Redbubble, but I don't like Redbubble, so I moved it. And you can make donations during streams or videos just like this one on a more one-off basis if you'd like to. While you don't have to, I do appreciate it, and it helps me keep things running around here. Okay, let's see. I think that's all the business out of the way, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is, those of you who like smoothies, what's your favorite smoothie recipe and what do you put in it? My default basis tends to be banana and apple, then I'll put other things on top of that. The one I'm drinking right now as I work, I was hungry but too lazy to make food, so smoothie it was, is banana, apple and mango, because I forgot to put the ginger and honey in it, but it's still quite nice. So, let me know some of your favorite recipes, give me some cool ideas in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.